Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
Hey, yo.
What's happening?
This is the movie show.
On your favorite ORSPS.
Do you know what an ORSPS is?
No idea.
We made it up. It stands for Online Radio Station Podcasting Service.
That's really long.
ORSPS.
Right.
You should come up with a shorter thing.
Write it down and then say it a couple of times and then it just rings. It just like flows out your mouth.
That's why we made it ORSPS.
Yeah. ORSPS.
Online Radio Station and Podcasting Service was a little long. But half the time people don't know what that is unless they listen to the movie show. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, so...
I'm going to make a shirt
Thank
like
you for
that.
breaking it down. I would have been stuck this whole time.
They always say this. ORSPS.
After the show, what's an ORSPS?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm Sash.
My name's Ryan.
Timothy.
And we are talking Spider-Man
And?
No Way Home.
And why? Spider-Man.
Because we watched it.
Finally, we watched
It
it.
didn't take that long. Compared to our other stuff, we've done stuff like years after.
Yeah,
it's
true.
released, so this
But
was actually quite quick.
This was hyped. This film was
Yeah.
so hyped.
Yeah.
It was like the most hyped film for 2021.
The only thing for me is I wish we did this sooner. Because, like, you know, we had done a whole lot of other stuff before. You know, because, I mean, when was this released? It was released?
December.
December.
16th, I think. 16th December.
And we're in the new year already.
We are already in the new
Like,
year.
what took us so long?
We had to think about it.
It's
Well, we're waiting for the rest of the audience to see it, so we're not spoiling everything.
True.
You see?
And we are
Except
spoiling.
We're ahead of the curve.
We are spoiling.
Except that this was spoiled for me because I was I think I watched it on the Friday, and that week coming up to the Friday.
You watched it the Friday the week after, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the week
Yeah.
after, and then already like Sash already came to me. She's like, "Listen, I'm just letting you know, Google is ruining it for everybody."
And I didn't do anything, right? I was good.
And I was on YouTube. Yeah, not even a face reaction, nothing like that. And I was on YouTube for some other reason, and then one of the videos there, pah,
Spoil.
and I was just like, "Oh,
You were at least, I had someone literally message me. So they watched it on the 16th. And then they messaged me about something completely else. We weren't even talking Spider-Man. No, in fact, we were talking about another film that came out on Netflix with Sandra Bullock called The Unforgivable, I think. We were talking about that film. And then she went and said, and Andrew Garfield was really cool. I was like, no. She just, no. I literally looked away I was like, no, she didn't. And that's what happened.
yeah."
But
Yeah.
at least he was in it. I wanted him in it, so it wasn't.
I was watching one of my kids' cartoons on YouTube. There's like a Disney Junior section, and they've even got the multiverse in there. Like literally, they got Gwen, they got what was his name?
Miles.
And Peter Parker. And Peter, like the hairstyle, and like he's a geek, and the whole thing. I was just like, wow, they really took this. Oh, and Peter Parker's that one. It's called Spidey and something Friends or whatever. Has even got like this little gadget, so you know it's on the whole play of, you know, he's like the new Iron Man type of thing because he's got his gadgets, and he's even got this little. Well, it was pretty cool. I think that would have messed it up for me already if I had not.
If you'd gone on there. Any spoils?
No, I was away at a no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi lodging.
That's what we
Very
need
nice,
to do.
very relaxed.
So you were out of reality. There was no way it was going to get spoiled
I watched
for
it
you.
like 2 weeks after it came out, so I was sorted.
And did you have a clue? What was your expectation?
I had very high expectations, extremely high,
as in-
because Marvel had been hyping this forever. And were those expectations met? No.
Oh!
Really, eh?
No, none of them.
None
Okay,
of them.
one of them was. Andrew Garfield was in.
Okay, there we go.
That was
There we
all that
go.
made me happy.
This is
The rest
hectic.
I'm not.
What?
Yeah.
What were your,
Hated it.
what other expectations did you have?
I don't know. A good storyline for one would have been nice. What was the storyline of this? They just tried to save all the villains.
Yeah.
That was it.
I honestly didn't
And
expect
Aunt May
that to
died
happen.
randomly, like nobody knew what was happening.
I
there.
saw that coming, eh?
I did see it coming, but it
the
was
trailer
weird.
gave that away for me. I actually am not watching trailers anymore. I could predict the movie. I actually sat there going, I know this because of the trailer. Like literally, I knew either Aunt May died or Happy died. That was a standard. The trailer gave that away.
Oh yes, okay, I remember that now.
I was literally like, when she died, I was like, oh shame. But other people were crying. I was like,
I would have
didn't
been
you
more
know
hacked
this?
if Happy died, actually.
Yeah,
I would have been really
because he
annoyed.
was in from the first, like, obviously there was Hulk before, but like the proper, they started with Iron Man, and he was in from like that. He's
Yeah.
the reason that poor Bettany's vision. Like he's almost the Marvel universe in himself. Yeah,
There wasn't any love for Aunt May in this movie. I feel like you had to like her from previous movies.
previous films, yeah. Which I
did. I liked her. She was cool. She was that cool aunt. But
for me, she was too young. She was the young, like Spider-Man and Aunt May just kept getting younger with each version that came out.
well, I don't actually know why in the first one Aunt May was so old. Because it's not like it's Grand May. It's literally Aunt May.
Aunt May, yeah.
So that was a little weird. Because in that one, she was more of a grandmother figure.
Mother, yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that the aunt is quite close to your mother's age. So, like, this made logical sense, I guess.
That is
But
true.
Makes so much sense.
Okay, so what other expectations did you have?
Okay. Firstly, I didn't like the fact that they saved all the villains. I felt like, what is the point of them fighting and trying to beat all these other villains in previous movies if they're just going to save these guys now? And then, to add on to the hate, they managed to save all the villains, but why couldn't they save the Gwen Stacy from Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like, all of these villains go back to their, like, storylines alive and well and whatever, but Gwen Stacy couldn't come back. And you see all the Spider-Men just returning to their... Because they've been through it all. They killed all these guys. They were their older versions. So they've technically been through it all. So what healing did they actually
Okay,
get?
see, that would have been cool because she knew Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
thing.
there was the possibility of it actually coming back. But
yeah.
they did do the whole play thing where the Spider-Man, as in Andrew Garfield, had the opportunity to save...
Yeah,
But he could have saved her. He actually could have.
Yeah.
They could have, like, it could have happened again with Gwen.
But do you think
Yes.
they did that because if you look at Spider-Man, like, there's always a sore point. So for Peter, it was the fact that Aunt May was still gone, and for
Peter.
Andrew Garfield's character, it was
no,
still
but Uncle
the fact...
Ben was still gone. So,
But how connected was he though to Ben?
Yo, Uncle Ben ruined the first movie. That brought tears to the eyes of the audience. It was sad stuff.
You missed the other half of the film because
Yeah, I
can't
couldn't
see through my tears.
It was too sad. No, it was.
Yeah.
And
annoying.
for me also,
Okay.
like, they did the choice of villains. So I was actually disappointed that they didn't bring back the two Harry Osborns. Like, why didn't they
I
bring...
was expecting him to come. But although I must say that the Green Goblin is like he's quite a nasty, he's quite a strong character. He's actually quite a nasty little
Yeah.
bug.
But, like, why didn't... Because it would have been cool... Because, you know, in The Amazing Spider-Man, Harry Osborn takes... Doesn't he become Green
he
Goblin?
takes- but you see, the thing is, I don't think they could bring him back because the storyline was that they could save everybody, all the villains and stuff like that. Harry Osborn had cancer or something, or that disease. He had that disease killing him, the same one
Yeah.
his father had. So therefore, like, there's no way to cure it. So they couldn't bring him into the storyline and then try to cure the dude.
It was probably just too
It
complicated.
would have been a downer.
They were like, we're gonna bring him back, but what if
we're gonna save all the villains, but hey, you still got your disease.
But it
so-
would have been cool to see the different Green Goblins also. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, bringing... Now they're like, wait, what?
Ooh.
You're also Harry... Do you understand what I'm saying?
True.
Like
but there was
that-
enough awkwardness going around for...
Yeah.
Like, even when the villains met, it was just so weird.
Yes, I
was
agree.
like, I felt like this movie
Who
had
you? I'm-
too much awkwardness to actually, like, make it enjoyable. Like, everything was just... Like, Peter was like, hi guys. Hi, I'm Peter, but not your Peter. And then he was like, what? And you just took too long to understand what was going on, even though the audience already knew.
Yeah.
You know, now that you say it, their entrance could have been better though, because they just walked on like they were a guest in the show. You know,
Nah.
Yeah.
That
is true, yeah.
Hey,
like,
we're here. And then get put in the
spotlight,
thing.
everything.
Do you know what I think was
What's
the
up?
problem, actually? So, we had Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, where it was just him. Then we had Andrew Garfield, where it was just him. Now you have Tom Holland, right? And I think what they wanted to do was make it about Tom Holland, because it is his Spider-Man. So they brought in the others, but they still focused on Tom Holland, which I understand why they did it. But at the same time, I think that's what caused the like guest artist appearance effect,
Yeah.
because now it's about Tom Holland, but here is guest star Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And there was also no villain of Tom Holland's there, essentially.
Yes,
It was all the other Spider-Man's villains
yeah.
that they were now dealing with.
And then they also like they hinted on other, because have you also seen those videos going around saying these are the people that were in the
As it appeared.
they speculating like which villains were coming from Yeah.
Plus, Venom, he was there, and then he just showed up in the end.
That's the one.
That annoyed
I have
me.
2 sore points with this film. The first is Tom Hardy's screen time. I was mad.
Very annoyed.
I was like, what was the point? You might as well not have put him in, like the way you carried on. And then they're like, no, but they needed the symbiote to get into the universe.
But that was supposed to be his villain. That was going to be his
That
villain.
would have been cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sort of set up expectations for the next film?
Yeah, but they keep doing that. Stop setting up expectations and reach
Yeah,
expectations.
fulfill expectations.
My
They
goodness.
literally hyped up
Marvel?
Spider-Man
What the
for
hell,
forever. Yeah,
What
hating
the hell,
on you.
Marvel?
Yeah.
Can you see what you've done?
No, that was a sore point when he literally was just in the end credit scene. It was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get what they did by leaving a little bit of the symbiote behind, but no.
they could have done that, but still had Tom Hardy in it.
Yeah.
And then the second sore point, I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this, but this was a sore point for me. They didn't bring in the other 2 films soundtrack.
Yes.
That
Yes.
would have been so
like Electro's
cool.
soundtrack.
Ah!
That was so. I was waiting. I was literally looking when he was jumping between the pylons,
Yes.
and I was like, I need this like
They
soundtrack.
didn't even like, sometimes they'll do it, especially like I know Hamilton the musical they do this brilliantly. That what they'll do is they'll tease a melody in the current song, so they're not changing to the other song, but they bring in the melody somehow.
Yeah.
Like they could have done that, because Andrew Garfield also, he has each of the Spider-Man soundtracks
Has their
obviously
own,
are
yeah.
different, but they could have like sort of teased it when there's nothing. Not even. I was like, really?
That was bad.
And the Amazing Spider-Man soundtrack, like that soundtrack is amazing.
It really is.
That is such a good film score.
That was Hans Zimmer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, love it.
It was so good, and then nothing. I was like, why? Why
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah, so those were my 2
Much hate.
disappointments.
Yeah.
It
I
was
agree
Tom
with
Hardy's
you.
screen time and the
Plus-
soundtrack.
Why were all the villains appearing, but yet the Spider-Men who like Andrew Garfield and them were just chilling the whole time?
Yeah, that's true.
Like things are happening, and you guys were like in an alley and undressed in your civilian clothes. What were you doing?
yeah, exactly.
We wanted you to come help earlier, and you weren't there.
You know what I think they tried to do? I think they were trying to keep up the expectation that
Yeah,
they
I
weren't
see
in
why
the
they
film.
did it. I know. But
Yeah.
they could have given Andrew Garfield so much more screen time, and it would have been amazing.
We were speaking after seeing the film, and someone actually said this was the most well-known secret of all time. Like, everyone knew that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were
Yeah.
going to be in this
And
film.
someone probably got fired over leaking that
Yeah.
No,
footage.
they
But-
didn't.
I'm like, that's crazy. Unless they did it on purpose.
I think they did.
I'm like, that guy's famous. Do we even know who leaked that footage?
I don't
No,
think so.
we
So
just
it
know the
just
deep
rocked
fake.
up somewhere. I saw it, and then I was still looking in that specific sequence, that shot. I'm like, there it is.
There it is,
There-
yeah.
that's
You could spot it.
That's it. I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah. No, that was crazy.
But after the movie, like they were going back through a whole bunch of interviews, especially with Tom Holland. And there was one where him, Zendaya, and the other dude were busy watching the trailer. And there was that scene where, you know, when all the 3 Spider-Man land on the
Yes.
roof and they have their poses? Tom Holland goes like, wait, where's? And then he
Yes.
like pauses and he's like, wait, I didn't say anything. And Zendaya and them are like sitting back like, oh.
Because
It was
he knew
amazing.
they'd taken
But I'm
him
glad
out.
it didn't ruin anything, and that it was good stuff. I like the fact that they kept it secret.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, no.
whole cinema went crazy when Andrew Garfield.
Yes,
lost it.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
screamed.
I screamed so hard. I was
screamed.
like, ah.
I was like, I'm going to scream.
What?
But I knew he was coming. And then when I saw the suits, I knew it was him.
Yeah.
But when that happened, I was like, they're going to bring, this is the moment they bring.
Yeah.
So, but
Loved
it was really cool. And you know what? Like, we went to the cinema and we were speaking to the lady that helped us with our tickets beforehand. And she was saying that the cinemas have been so quiet, obviously since 2020. Like, they've been, I don't know how cinemas have made it. And she said for them, they thought Fast 9, I don't know why they thought Fast 9 would bring people back, but they did. And it didn't happen. And she said this is the first time since pre-COVID that the cinemas have been like back to...
They've picked up
they've
again.
packed it out. In fact, the cinema I went to had a 7:00 show, and the 7:00 show filled out, and they then made a 7:15 show. So they added a cinema for No Way Home to screen it. So for me, that was really cool. I think cinemas really needed No Way Home.
Won't last long though, because they'll realize it was a bad movie.
Oh, I don't know if all people will feel like that, but I do. I feel like they did. If they never brought Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in, oh my goodness.
Agreement there.
So at least they did that.
They
Yeah.
could have done some other cool stuff.
They
though.
could have. They
They
really
could have
could
done
have.
so much. Like even just the fact that there was nothing happening like with restoration of the Spider-Man. Like the only thing was that they got to meet each other and it was a little awkward meet and greet kind of thing. And then by the time they went back, oh, by the way, that line that Andrew Garfield did of like, I love you guys. That was improvised.
Yes.
I love that. That was very cool.
Yeah, no, that was a cool moment. And even when like Tobey Maguire was saying to Andrew Garfield, "No, you are amazing. No, say it after me. You are amazing. That was pretty cool." And then also Electro referenced Miles from the Spider-Man not series, the animated one, where he said he basically said it would have been better if you were black.
Yeah,
which he obviously referenced to Miles. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Do you know that? Because for me, I was also like, shame. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire didn't even go to the premiere. Like, that is like the most hyped film of the century, and they didn't go to the premiere.
They didn't want to, or they couldn't.
No,
I don't think they could.
They were
that
not
would
guys.
ruin
Because
them for
then
everybody.
everyone would have not. Okay, I suppose
I
they
would
could
have smuggled them in.
Yeah.
I would have smuggled them in as like staff or something.
Do you know what they did? The two of them actually went to a cinema. I don't know which cinema. I don't think it was the one where it premiered. But on opening night, they went to a cinema with baseball caps and masks and snuck in and watched like just the cinema react to it. So they did actually see it on opening night.
Nice.
But I thought that was pretty cool that the two of them snuck into a cinema. Like you could have been in the cinema where Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were there and you wouldn't have known. You literally wouldn't have known. It would have been cool if afterwards they came out and like...
Hi guys.
Thanks
What's
for
up, what's
watching.
up?
Guys, that was us. We're back.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
happens next? Okay, gotta go.
Yeah.
Although they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know.
No.
Although Tom Holland has been signed on for another 3 Spider-Man films.
Oh,
So
save
the-
me now. I can't.
There's another. Although, do you know what? For the first time, I accepted Tom Holland as
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Yes,
Of
I
course.
did. I've always
Yeah.
accepted him as
No, I
Spider-Man.
didn't. I was like, this brat got a lucky with with Iron Man, and like just happened to. I was like, you know what, shame. He's able to be called Spider-Man because he's had to sacrifice.
I like Tom Holland.
Now I'm not.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield is still my favorite.
Yep.
And I was so heart sore when there was the whole fallout with Sony because I was like, Andrew Garfield is joining the MCU. That is freaking cool. And then they changed him, and I was like, ah. So I don't know if you remember, that was like years ago.
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
heart sore over that. But there's talks that they're going to make The Amazing Spider-Man 3 now.
They have to. Come on, please.
And there's talks that
Please.
Tom Hardy will be in that one as Venom.
Okay, then I'm happy. I don't mind.
That'll
I'm
be a
now.
good film.
Yeah.
That'll be a good film.
Life is
Yeah.
happy. Life is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they do that.
If they do that, yeah.
If they don't do that,
But how pathetic was the ending of No Way Home? Like, think about it. Everybody just forgot him. Like,
Yeah.
everything was futile. Literally.
and why did he run? Why did he leave? Like when the spell was cast, why did he have to go? Like he could have stayed there and been like, "Listen, guys, this is what happened."
Well, think about how they would have reacted. They would have been like, all fanboy and fangirl and been like, oh, you're Spider-Man. Oh, my word. This is so cool. We
So-
know the Spider-Man's identity. Take a picture and post it.
This is the part where the ending of, the girlfriend dying, or what was it?
Gwen.
No, not the girlfriend dying. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
think it was Spider-Man 3,
Yes.
where at the end, he deserts the girlfriend
Mhm.
because that's just
You can't have a
It's the
girlfriend.
place of a superhero.
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
No, but
Not
it's the
everybody
same
can know
thing.
Spider-Man.
No, but here's the thing, okay? So think about not just the Spider-Man series. Think about like Avengers and the MCU world as a whole, okay? Iron Man essentially sacrificed his life
Yeah.
so that he could save Peter. Like, that was their whole goal. That was the thing that was driving him the most. Peter's on-screen death in Avengers Infinity War like tore everybody's hearts and like everybody was so broken, and that's what kept Tony going. But now he's been saved. Now, like, nobody, not even the Avengers, nobody knows who this guy is. So it was essentially Iron Man's death all for nothing.
No, but he's still gonna save people.
Yeah, but
Still gonna be a superhero.
nah,
And
that's
he
pathetic.
has to keep his identity.
Can I
again.
be
It's
honest?
awesome.
I feel like they're falling into the series trap where there's no resolution. It's just
Yes.
we end it so that we can make another one.
Yes.
And we do an end scene with Tom Hardy.
That leads you on to the next one.
Yes.
But then all the movies are trash. No. Every movie since Endgame has been trash. I have not been happy with any movie since. And they keep hyping up the next one. They keep, at the end of Venom, they're like, oh no, he's going to appear in Spider-Man. Yay. Was he there? Was he?
No, he wasn't. Tom Hardy was not in Spider-Man.
Hated it.
He was as much in Spider-Man as Tom Holland was in Venom. Like,
Dude didn't even pay his bill. He literally just rocked up, got drunk, and headed out.
I was unhappy about that. And there was one part where they could have brought it in. They were speaking about aliens. There was one part that I don't know if you remember. The three of them were speaking about aliens, and I literally thought, I was like, "This is Venom's coming in now,"
Yeah.
and he didn't. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Because
never
Andrew
mind.
Garfield was like, I haven't fought an alien.
Yes,
That's his chance.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like,
There we
hello.
go.
But maybe they're now linking that up with the Amazing Spider-Man 3.
If there's an Amazing Spider-Man
Then we'll
3,
be fine.
That will be the movie that might redeem Marvel.
I actually
Anything
think I'd be
else?
more
No.
hyped. No, not think. I'll be more hyped for the Amazing Spider-Man 3 than I was for No Way Home.
But the Amazing Spider-Man 3 currently has more going for it than a new Spider-Man
Yeah,
movie.
it's true.
Because even at the post-credit scenes of 1 and 2 had that guy in the bowler hat, remember? And like he kept showing up and you're like, this is very confusing. And now, like, you still want to find out what happens to that dude. You still want to find out, because remember he mentioned in No Way Home, Andrew Garfield was saying how he went through like a rough patch.
Yes.
And he's essentially linking at the fact that he might have killed people because of how strong he is and he wasn't holding his punches anymore. So now to be able to see that would be very cool. And maybe Venom sees him like not pulling his punches, goes after him, and then like,
So you're saying
lovely.
So you're saying there's like almost like a time that's missing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now's the time.
And they
now's
did
the time
zero-
to fulfill that.
But
that
they
section.
have to almost, because they nearly did zero healing for Andrew Garfield
Yeah,
in
they
this
really
new one.
didn't.
Like he caught MJ, yay! He
But
saved
it
people
wasn't
regularly.
his. No. Everyone was like, ah.
Plus, what was MJ and the other dude doing the whole film? They literally like, they had one job, and that was to take the thing through the portal and then get away.
And then he
they
couldn't close
failed.
it, yeah.
And then like even in the beginning of the film, they weren't really doing much. They were just babysitting the villains in the manor. Like, I just didn't know what these guys were doing.
There's also speculation though, because Ned in the film keeps like stating, "I will never
Powers.
become your enemy," because obviously the other two,
Yeah.
Harry became like their arch enemy type of thing. And then a lot of people have now, because apparently Ned, there is a villain version of Ned.
Yeah, of course there is.
Yeah, so they now saying that he's going to become a villain. Like that was linking to
I almost viewed that as more of like an inside joke.
yeah.
I don't think that that's actually going to happen, but I viewed it more as like a, haha, this is funny because it happens to all the other Spider-Man, but it's not going to happen to me. You know?
Can I be honest? With the MCU, like Endgame and Infinity War, they did. I've never experienced anything like that in my
Yeah.
lifetime, and I don't know if
I
we
don't-
will.
yeah.
Ever again. So No Way Home was very close. It was a very good the way people responded in the cinema. That's what I'm talking about. Like people were that involved.
I think people, at least in my cinema, people only cheered when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire rocked up, and then also when they were all three swinging together and they did
Yeah.
their little landing thing.
Yeah.
That was the only time
Yeah.
cheering happened. But I think the only link to Endgame that I'm actually seeing between the two was the hype beforehand. Because remember there was that pause between when they released Infinity War and Endgame, and everybody was sitting on the edge of their seats. Like every MCU fan was depressed because everybody was gone, and then Endgame happened. So I think this gave me so much Endgame feel before the thing, but then
It was
just
a letdown.
didn't reach up to its expectations.
For me, so obviously the MCU's gone off to series now. My favorite series still to this day is WandaVision. But Hawkeye, I did watch Hawkeye. Hawkeye was very good. I thoroughly actually enjoyed Hawkeye. And they also linked it back to the Black Widow film, which was really cool. So I don't know if maybe, I don't know what's happening with the MCU, but yeah.
Yeah, but then now this is the time, because remember DC's always been big into series.
Yeah.
So now that Marvel's moving into series, DC should come in with their movies.
Yeah.
DC has the potential to pull off an Endgame. Like, because as far as it goes, I think DC's better than Marvel. Not in the realm of movies or
I
series
think that's
or
the
anything.
problem here.
Oh,
The problem is that you're a DC.
No, but think about it. Okay, here's my issue with Marvel. Marvel doesn't appreciate life. DC is nearly full of the idea of like, don't kill, protect life. Like, we don't do that. How many people have the Avengers killed? Like, those guys are in the millions by now.
They destroyed New York. I mean, a couple of times.
Not
you know.
even like not even when they're fighting an enemy. Think about when they fight those guys at like the bases of the Hydra thing. They kill everybody there. Like everybody's literally dead. I think Iron Man has like 100 on-screen kills, if that, you know? And whereas like DC, Batman has gone so many movies without killing anybody. That is the difference there. DC is more realistic, and that's why I think it will do so much better.
This is hectic.
Well, okay.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, DC, hire me. I'm ready.
Ah!
Come, let's go.
I am looking forward to the Batman, but it's not because it's DC. I'm looking forward to the Batman because of the cast. So, which which is allowing me for a letdown, but I'm willing to watch it. Normally, I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm good.
No, I'm
Leave me
keen
out of
because
this
they're
one.
taking a darker approach. All the other Batman have been low-key dark, but not like dark enough. Because the Batman is literally, he gives PTSD to nearly all of the villains he fights. Like, there's literally a whole psych ward for villains who have encountered Batman.
Oh, so
Like,
that's
he's
what
that
he
bad.
does. He doesn't kill them, but
He
they're never the
mentally-
same.
Yeah, he mentally scars them.
Which is better though.
I don't know, but anyway, think about the trailer. When he beat that gangster,
least you don't have to
you were
suffer.
like, whoa.
Okay, yo, but now this is now whoa.
No, we're
Putting
not
the
having a
person
moral
out
debate,
of
but
them
anyway. Still, I'm kind of like, when I saw the trailer, I knew, I'm so happy. Can't wait. Anyway.
Ryan, I think you enjoyed Spider-Man.
I did.
I enjoyed
Why
it.
did you enjoy it? I want to
I
hear
really
why you
did.
enjoyed it.
You see, the problem here is that so like there were certain things about it that started opening up. So obviously I knew, okay, cool, Tom, yeah, no, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, cool, but like and just a small like a whole lot of questions that just been opened up for me that's just taken me away from, okay, this is the normal film. It's become unpredictable, the storyline, as in what can happen next. But so e.g. Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Happy at the end, and they're at the tombstone of Aunt May.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, did you know Spider-Man? Yes, through her. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
how did you know Spider-Man, but you're not recognizing the guy that's standing before you type of thing? And this is like, okay, whoa, hang on. So there, like, little stuff like that out of what's happened already opens up. And then, like I said, for me, I like the fact that the Spider-Man is, his friends don't know, he like can continue on his mission with,
Ryan, you just don't want him to get with the girl. Like, you are happy if the guy and the girl don't get together. That is like the essence of a good film for you.
The problem is that when the villains find out who Spider-Man's girlfriend is,
they go.
there's a sore spot now.
Yeah.
And that's not nice. I don't
So
like...
it's a weakness. In other words, you
Exactly.
don't want the hero to have a weakness.
They're going to go after the girl.
How cool would it actually have been if at the end of the movie, Tom Holland meets his version of Gwen Stacy, and that becomes like the new...
You see,
How cool.
that
Actually
was,
would've
that
been
was
cool.
one of the things that I thought could, if they did that, I was going to be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, remember, I still said, okay, fine, if they didn't do that, but let's say a girl version of Spider-Man comes in. I was just like, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. Because, like, even the costume and I remember in this cartoon version, she was called Ghost.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, no, but then there's speculation that they're going to do that with Gwen in The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Maybe she did come through I know, but they sent everyone back. Yeah, it's not
Yeah, but then they just sent her back without
That
them
would be very
realizing.
cool.
That actually would be cool. And then you have Venom, her, and no, that film will be the
You see?
greatest film ever.
You see?
I'm stating
It's
it. But it's not
gonna be
Marvel,
great.
it's Sony.
I don't care. Make it.
But that's the thing.
Do it, people.
And it's interesting because Marvel and Sony had a fallout. The only reason this film happened was actually because Tom Holland sat them down. He still described it as a situation where two parents are getting divorced and then the child's like, no, don't get divorced. Do it for me. And then they don't get divorced for the child. And that's kind of what happened. Yeah, like Marvel and Sony only teamed up because Tom Holland was like, please.
But then they fight in the house
Yeah.
because they hate each other. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
make a lot of sense. You know what, Sony? You pulled your phones out of my country. We don't get a good Sony phone. Like, we're not saying you guys seen a good Sony phone advertising.
That's true. But
So
Sony
you owe
films
me.
are good.
You owe me.
No, I watched a
When?
movie recently. What movie was it? And it was brilliant. And
No,
it
their
was
films are...
Sony.
Yeah, look. The films are great.
Yeah, no, Sony.
they're
I
happening
rate
already.
Sony.
Yeah.
And something else that I really enjoyed about this film, being like a graphics junkie, is like, did you guys see the stunts that Tom
Holland pulled, yeah.
Now, I looked like, did you see all the backflips? Like, I saw some of the rehearsals they did. Now, obviously, he had a harness, but like he backflipped onto a car, like perfectly land like that. Then he would backflip again onto
And the car was moving.
like all of that stuff was like for real.
Look, that I have to give that to Tom Holland. Apparently, also the first time he auditioned with Chris Evans, he like just did a backflip out of the blue. Chris Evans was still like,
Yeah.
what?
He backflipped on, did a line, and backflipped off again.
Yeah, no.
And that's what landed him the part.
You know what else actually disappointed me? I just remembered. They took these deleted scenes that we never saw.
His brother.
So Tom Holland's brother plays a crook. There was a scene where he's stealing something and Spider-Man like attacks him and like.
That makes me mad, man.
This
movie does.
the deleted
Like
scenes in this film.
I would have been heartbroken if I was Tom Holland.
Did you guys watch these on YouTube? Where did you see the deleted scenes?
No, I know there's a deleted
They
scene
spoke
because I
about
read
it.
about it, and then I also saw behind the scenes. I think his name's Harry.
Didn't his name still make it into the credits though? Or was I smoking something?
It might have. But you see him like running, and then because there was still so what happened was Tom Holland was saying in an interview the once he was hanging upside down for one of the previous films, and he was like eventually by the end of the day he was just like, I can't do this anymore. And his brother then said to him, dude, you're Spider-Man, shut up and just like deal with yourself. What's wrong with you? You're playing Spider-Man. Like, hello. And then for this film, he had to hang upside down because obviously Spider-Man caught him with the web. And by the end of the day, he was like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I never understood. Like, I didn't get it. You can complain as much as you want.
He's taught his little brother a lesson. He's like, oh, is it? Oh, really, hey? Okay, why don't you get up here? Meet me.
But the deleted scenes, they need to release those deleted
that would have been
scenes.
cool. At least director's cut with deleted scenes. Why would they have cut it out? Probably because it doesn't add to the story.
Because wasn't it?
Well, there was no story to add to.
Oh.
Sorry.
But it was also like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
that's fine.
That
but
even
yeah,
makes
we
it
wouldn't have
worse.
minded.
Nah.
Oh. I feel like I feel like the whole point of this movie was purely to satisfy the wants and needs of like the geeks and nerds of the Spider-Man community.
Yeah.
Because they literally did so many things where they did little cute references here and there of like each villain got his little say about, oh, this happened or there was all those lines from previous movies like the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Was that necessary? Like, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we felt fluffy inside if you knew the references, but it didn't make the movie great.
Yeah, they went more for like trivia and references than they did like a good solid storyline.
Yeah, it was annoying. And plus, what was the point of all the previous movies and all the previous hurts and pain that was caused if the villains are just now happy and got what they wanted? Like, they're villains. They chose to go down
There was a reason.
Don't villains deserve second chances too?
Do they?
Does that not? You'll say
Was
yes.
Was it their fault? You just said what the Avengers or the Marvel have killed off more people, so they deserve a second chance. You gotta.
Oh, so that's why they kill off more people, because they just bring them back in the next film
to kill them again. Nah.
Plus, what kind of plot does that make the previous movies? Think about it. If they all went back now and they were cured and whatever, what happened in the previous movies? They just didn't exist anymore. There is no Amazing Spider-Man. There's no.
I think that's where
Spider-Man
the question
1, 2, 3.
was. Cause
No, but isn't it the event still happened?
They were taken at the points before they died or something.
That means
like
Harry
that.
Osborn's still alive in the first one. That means his son doesn't become a villain. That means nothing happened. Literally.
Sure.
What are they
so
gonna
they just
remake the
erased
originals?
all the Spider-Man
How
films.
pathetic is that?
Basically.
And they couldn't bring Gwen Stacy back. Shame on them.
That is a good point.
Nah, this
Look,
is
if you
bad.
go look up her actor, she's still alive. I promise you, she's not
Emma
dead.
Stone.
And it
Yeah.
also felt like a Tom Holland wanting to overcompensate for like something or other by healing all these other Spider-Man villains. Like,
I must be honest, I didn't enjoy it. It was very focused on Tom Holland, and I'm like, but it had all three.
why didn't they bring like Mysterio back and try and fix him?
Yeah,
or why
there you
didn't they
go.
bring like Tom Holland has
Or
had
Thanos
his own
back.
yeah, well, that would have been so cool. They actually did this one TikTok where they, when Ned was opening portals,
Yeah.
he opened a portal and Thanos
Thanos
walked through,
walked out.
and I was like, do it. Oh, that would.
Yeah, that would have been cool if Thanos came back.
Nah, they should have done better.
They could have done better. There was
There was literally no point.
I
to
feel
the
like
movie.
they did. We're not mad because they brought Andrew
Mad.
Garfield and Tobey
Okay, yes, we're
Maguire.
not that
We're
mad.
not mad because I was ready to like freak at this film if they didn't do that. But we're not fully satisfied. I think that's what it
I was
is.
fully
But they were
satisfied.
You were
supposed to-
fully satisfied.
I was happy.
Like fully satisfied.
100%.
That's fine. We majority vote you out. Sweet.
I'm in the middle.
No, sure.
Literally, I'm in the middle here. Like I was happy, but I was disappointed with my certain points.
Okay, but with all the hype they created, was it worth it?
Yes.
all the hype,
Yes.
like everything.
Absolutely.
They've been hyping this thing up for at least 3 years now, and this was a 3 years worth.
Honestly,
Gotta get views.
Honestly,
you know?
no.
Gotta get people to- hey, they
No.
filled the cinemas, people. Come on.
Okay,
They filled the cinemas.
Yes.
but
Big
they would
ups
have
to
done
that.
that. They would have done that even if they released like a 2-second clip. Like this, the fact that they hyped it up was
I don't
what
know, eh?
brought the cinemas in. It wasn't the movie
I think
itself.
you know what? This makes me think that leak was probably
it was on purpose.
could have been on
Definitely
purpose.
on purpose, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
but
they
whether
knew
it
we
was
have
or
to
not,
Because now
Well-
people didn't want to wait. They wanted to see it in cinemas. Because, like, for me, it was, I don't want to have it spoiled, which I did have it spoiled. But I think that's
That
what
guy
happened.
got
Yeah.
promoted. He didn't get fired. He
Yeah,
got promoted.
no.
But what I'm saying is they did the best job. Like Marvel was amazing in hyping this movie up. Like I give them massive props. But the movie itself didn't carry enough weight.
Can I be honest? I think Marvel's marketing department
It's
sometimes
great.
is better than their storyline department.
Okay, wait. So what you're saying is this, guys? We got a problem. This movie's not that great. What are we gonna do?
Well, we
Hype
could leak
it.
some
We
footage
can give away
about
free
Andrew Gar-
tickets. No,
No,
that's
no,
not gonna
won't
work.
work.
Spider-Man dies.
Yeah.
We can leak some footage with the three of them.
And
Yeah.
pretend they're not in.
No, that's stupid.
And we have Andrew
Wait.
Garfield say the whole time he's not in the movie in every interview.
We'll even organize the interviews. We'll tell them
That's
that
a
might
good
just
idea.
work. Okay,
That
that's
might-
brilliant.
there
All
we
right,
go.
meeting adjourned.
There we go.
They had enough hype, but they didn't come through.
You know what I actually want to search? On YouTube, there's a guy, I actually don't know his name, but he does pitch meetings for films. So he'll act out the pitch meeting.
Will they
but
change the eyes? Yeah, I've seen that.
No. Okay, I don't know if it's that one. He acts
put
the
in the
role
weird
though,
eyes.
so he's the
Oh.
producer and the script
Yeah,
writer.
yeah, I think
and
so.
then he actually rips the movie to shreds because like he like says this is what happens, and I actually want to find the one for No Way Home and send it to you guys and watch it and then be like, yeah, he was right. He literally ripped even Endgame apart, and like Tenant ripped, as in he takes good films and rips the script to shreds. You're like, oh wait, that's true. That
It's
doesn't
like
make
how it
sense
should
at
have
all.
ended. Have you guys seen how it should have ended on YouTube?
Something
Yeah.
like that, but he does the pitch meeting.
Huh.
Where it's like the stupid producer. Oh, that's good.
How it should have ended actually ruined Lord of the Rings for me, hey?
Really?
Where they were like, they should have just taken the ring with the eagles. And I was like, oh my word, don't do that.
But then
no.
they wouldn't have had a book.
I know,
And a
but like,
film.
no, it just annoyed me. It was
That's
very
the
annoying.
thing. They rip it to shreds and say this story could have been over like in 2 minutes, but they decided to
Yeah.
keep it going for 2 hours and yeah.
But I think that's the only plot hole of the whole of the Lord of the Rings. And it tears to my my
It's
core.
showbiz, people. It's showbiz.
Oh, I hate
That's the
it.
way it works.
It's true. It's
Show
they-
business.
yeah,
That's a story. What's a good story without a problem that is difficult to be solved?
that's true.
Even though, no, it's not difficult to be solved. Yeah. Look, there's 361 ways to fix the problem. There was just the one.
Wait,
But
why
they-
specifically
Yeah, wait.
361? I'm so confused. I was like,
I was
is that
just
the
like-
number of like days in the year that they had to
61.
fix this thing or what?
You see? That's the Marvel thing I just did.
Oh my word.
Oh.
No, you don't have that.
I was like, wait, did I zone out for a second there? Why are we on
I didn't know.
361?
I was very confused.
I'm glad you said it. I was also like
Mhm.
361.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is the next film? It's the and how was that Doctor Strange trailer as an end scene? Like that they literally put the Doctor Strange trailer
Yeah,
as
that
the
was
end
cool.
scene.
I like that. But it enhances my point that they're trying to hype up the next thing.
Yeah, they are trying
because
to hype
this
up the
one
next
wasn't
thing.
good enough.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I think
No.
that's what Marvel will always do because there's always going to be a
But
next
they
film.
didn't need to do that up until the end of Endgame. Like
Yeah,
every
that's
movie
true, actually.
Okay, so
was
pre-Endgame
good.
hyped itself.
Yeah,
what-
it was good in
what
itself.
was the big problem in this film?
The big problem was that it didn't. Firstly,
No,
there
I'm,
was-
I'm talking about the storyline.
okay, storyline.
It was too focused on Tom Holland.
What was the big monster that had to be killed?
There wasn't.
There wasn't. They just tried to heal everybody.
No, it
That was the problem.
Wasn't it that those villains were back and they were going to now start?
The problem
No, it
was
was the
the
risk.
multiverse was opened.
Yes.
Wasn't that
No,
the
no, no.
problem?
Yeah, the massive problem was Doctor Strange.
And who
That
were the
was
other
issue
things?
there.
Who were the other beings that were about to come through?
That was everybody who knew Spider-Man.
Why didn't they come through?
Yeah. Why? So what was the problem going to be?
massive plot hole.
Why didn't they-
Why
why-
did only select people
Why
come through?
did they end it on like a total cliffhanger where it's like, oh flip, like oh?
It's
do you
not
understand what
closing. Why?
Yeah, like
Not enough power.
And then he's like being choked to
be
death by
continued.
someone, and then Spider-Man will return in. You know how they normally do it.
Matrix, the second one. That's what they did. They broke up the second one.
Apparently, the fourth Matrix is really bad.
Yeah, I've also heard it's really
What?
bad.
I've heard it's
apparently
like terrible.
bad.
I
You know
expected
what?
it to be terrible. To be
Yeah,
honest
but
with
it's
you.
because they're bringing things back for the sake, because it was hyped
Yeah.
then and it was good then. So they're like, guys, we need money. Well, why don't we do a Matrix 4? Brilliant. It's one of those.
Can I tell you what it feels like? It feels like one day you decide to put Christmas lights on your house, and you have to get a plug outside, and so you plug it in, and then of course you take your Christmas lights down again, and the next year you put them up on that side, and then you realize the plug's too far. Because let's be honest, Matrix was like back then, and new films
Yeah.
over here. So you're like, are you really gonna? Shouldn't you just create a new something different? Anyway,
Can I be honest? You know what stopped me from watching it is I actually haven't watched the first 3 properly.
you should watch it.
I stopped at 2.
Oh, serious?
I was like, meh, I'm done. I don't need this.
And I don't want to watch the 4th one without having watched the first 3 because I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
going to
true.
get stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's honestly
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did the Daniel Craig one. I did a James Bond marathon during the holiday. So we
How
literally
good's the new
watched.
one?
The new one is brilliant.
Love it.
But obviously, that was the last of Daniel Craig. So we
Yeah.
are doing a show. I'm telling you guys in advance, we are doing a show to discuss who the next James Bond will be.
Cool. I'm happy.
There's a whole lot of like
I haven't
speculation.
seen most of the old James Bonds.
So
Me neither.
if I
But-
nominate Tom Holland, will you?
No,
guys be
no, no,
mad?
no.
I mean, he wouldn't be the worst James Bond, but I don't think he
A
would be
younger
great.
version.
I think
immature.
Cillian Murphy's up there.
Ooh, he's on the list.
I think
He'd
he's on
be
the
a
list.
brilliant
He'd be
James
an amazing
Bond.
James Bond.
He'd be
He
an
has
amazing.
that like slickness to him.
No, it definitely would be a
Love
good
it.
James Bond. Yeah,
They have to do something different with that one, though.
they do.
You see, how lame is No Way Home if we have to change the subject of the podcast? This is my point.
No, it's because
Like,
we land.
you didn't give us enough to
We're
talk
landing the
about.
plane. We're talking about what we're looking future to. What we're looking forward to
Yeah.
in the country that we land.
So basically, to sum the show up, Brian liked No Way Home.
I
He
did.
enjoyed it. It
I
was
enjoyed
good.
it.
It met all his expectations, right?
Mm.
Okay. I semi-liked No Way Home. I was disappointed by a few things, and I feel like they need to fix it with The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Tim hated it. Full
Okay,
stop.
it met one of my expectations.
DC fan.
And
One.
you
One.
DC fan?
No,
He's
no,
a
no,
DC
no, no,
fan.
but listen, I have respect for every other Marvel movie pre-Endgame, apart from Captain Marvel. But like every other one, which like I give Marvel its respect, but because I know DC makes bad movies. But yeah,
and we're looking forward to the Batman. We're definitely looking forward to the
Right.
Amazing Spider-Man 3, which
Right.
they haven't announced yet, but we're pushing for it.
I'm putting in my resignation if there's no Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
What are you?
Of what?
What are you resigning? It's like the
The-
361.
my great ideas to the world.
Oh,
This
okay.
is my resignation.
Sure.
You shall not hear my great ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've put that down on the table, we will be back next week with James Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, are we doing that next week?
I'll be doing it
The
next
next
week.
James Bond.
Who the next James Bond will be. I've got a list. We even that's actually what I was doing New Year's Eve, guys. I was like sitting with a whole bunch of people and we were like scrolling through this article of who the next James Bond might be and commenting. It was a very good part of discussion. It was
Or
very
maybe
cool.
they shouldn't have another one.
But if Cillian
They should leave
Murphy
it
is
there.
going to be
Okay, if it's Cillian
if it's
Murphy,
Cillian
then yes,
Murphy,
they should have
of
another
course
one.
they have to do another one. No, but the No Time to Die
Yeah,
was
he-
really good. We must do that
yeah.
film as well.
But why aren't people actually hating on 007 like they hate on Fast and Furious? Because 007 is essentially doing the same thing where they just keep making movies.
Yeah.
And Fast and Furious is
But
doing the
they
same
bring
thing,
in,
but they're
I
getting
think,
more
new
hate.
James Bonds. That's
Okay,
why.
yeah, I get that. But
It's not the same.
Yeah, I get that.
Guy
but
with
it's
gadgets
still-
and Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. I want to do Mission Impossible. The new one's coming out this year. I'm doing a Mission Impossible marathon as well, so I can go watch the new one in theaters.
preferred the. What was the one just before the most recent one?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Wasn't it Syndicate?
Yeah.
No, Syndicate's the new one. No,
Was
it's- what's the newest one?
The newest one was really good.
Newest one was alright, but the one before it was better.
Wasn't it
In Dubai.
Ghost something?
Yes.
Ghost Protocol.
Yes, Ghost
no,
Protocol.
not Ghost Protocol.
No.
Was it the one in Dubai? No.
It's the one
Ghost
where
Protocol was after the
where
one in
you
Dubai, I
remember they
think.
kidnapped that dude in the most recent one,
Mm.
from the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the one where he's the bad guy. Yeah. You know the one where they're in the opera.
I need to do a.
where he
Oh
meets
yes,
sniping in the opera.
yes.
That's,
That one.
That's
That
my
one.
favorite one because there were so many levels to that one. The one where he holds his breath forever.
That one.
Loved it.
But I need to remind myself of it. Yeah. I think we have gone well over time, but it's been a good discussion.
Yes,
Summary.
definitely.
Needed.
Sucks. Worst movie.
No.
Actually, it's borderlining on Captain Marvel. Bad. Marvel. wise. Yeah.
For me, Andrew Garfield was in it, so I'm not going to hate on it because I like Andrew
Yeah,
Garfield.
but one guy can't redeem a whole trashy movie.
Andrew Garfield
For me, Tom
is
Holland
pretty
was in
good.
it, so it was good. And he did a lot of backflips and stuff.
But how did him swinging away in the end just make everything okay? No.
Because that was
Shame on
him.
you.
I liked Andrew Garfield, and they should have brought in the soundtrack. And Tom Hardy's screen time was horrific. That's my final say on it.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've
So
all
this has
decided
been
it's
the
a
movie
trash
show?
movie. Yeah.
Comment
Including
below.
Ryan. Ryan agrees with us.
Comment
he knows
down
we're
below.
right.
Rewind and re-listen.
We'll be back next week with
James
007.
007.
Yeah.
Which is better.
Peace.